Today marks 6 months since devastating flooding hit much of western North Carolina, killing 6 people, destroying homes, businesses, and bridges.
And what was left of Tropical Storm Fred hit Haywood County especially hard.
News 13's Andrew James spent the day in Haywood County to see the progress and ongoing rebuilding efforts.
6 months later, and you can still see projects just like this one getting underway. They're working to rebuild this bridge back here. And earlier we went into the heart of Crusoe to see the progress that's been made in one of the hardest hit areas. A calm Pigeon River makes it hard to believe the destruction it caused in Haywood County just 6 months ago.
We helped people as much as we could. We helped them just get access to their homes or divert water.
This damage left behind shows the power of the river and the mark it left on this community. In many places, the river is still littered with debris and pieces of people's lives. Some homes still appear untouched 6 months after taking a direct hit from the floodwaters.
The original bridge was probably put here when the house was built back in 1938.
Carrie Shackelford's bridge is one of the latest projects just now getting underway. It too was damaged in the flooding, and as of late, he's been using this footbridge to get across to his home.
We've done anywhere from small bridges to driveways to large bridges that people are using to get multiple family homes across the big river.
Amber Ferguson, owner of WMF Land Services, tells me they've worked on 90 roads and driveways and close to 10 bridges since August.
If it wasn't for the people in the community, the nonprofits that came together, there are so many people that wouldn't even see projects starting until now.
Much of the funding for these projects is coming from the Tropical Storm Fred Residential Recovery Program. Carrie Shackelford tells me it covered the total cost of his bridge replacement.
I had no idea that they would come through for us, and we thought maybe it'd just be a loan. But they came across, and here we go.
Now, there is still state funding available to help with recovery efforts. We'll have more on that posted in this story at WLOS.com.
And because of COVID trends, the governor of North Carolina hopes mask mandates will be lifted by local governments and schools.
News 13's Samir Nefsi has more on the data behind the move.
As of Thursday, the state health department reports a nearly 11% daily positivity rate. New COVID-19 data shows that the state is moving in the right direction. Also, vaccines and COVID-19 treatments are providing extra protection. All of this leading the governor to announce that it's time for mask mandates to go.
I encourage schools and local governments to end their mask mandates.
Governor Roy Cooper, for the first time, saying masking up might not be the best solution for North Carolinians.
The school toolkit provides guidance for schools, and it has in the past strongly urged mask mandates for the local schools, and that's been the right thing. That's been a positive thing. But we're at the point in the pandemic where the health officials say that lifting those mask mandates may be the right thing for them to do, and that they should consider that.
The governor attributes vaccine availability and treatments for COVID as the main driving force behind the decision. It's happening as the State House and Senate pass the Free the Smiles Act. It's a bill that would allow students to opt out of wearing a mask in public schools. Governor Roy Cooper says the House and Senate seem to be frantic about the bill.
From what I know about it, I have concerns that it's unwise and irresponsible. I mean, are we going to let people pick and choose which public health rules are going to follow?
Meanwhile, the Buncombe County Association of Educators are not backing the governor.
I was definitely shocked to hear it. I wasn't expecting it quite so soon.
Shanna Peel believes lifting masking mandates will only worsen a shortage of substitute teachers.
It actually could really further complicate the issue. However, I think the larger concern is the ability for us to have enough substitutes to cover staff who may be out due to illnesses if we go ahead and remove the mask mandate.
A Buncombe County school spokesperson saying they appreciate the guidance from both local and state health officials, writing in a statement, quote, "We anticipate adopting the new toolkit recommendation on or before March 7th. As it stands, school boards hold the power to keep or do away with masking policies. Cooper believes boards will follow his advice Now, the governor and Secretary of Health and Human Services both say that it is important for North Carolinians to gauge each situation they are in to decide if they want to mask up or not.
It's coming down to the wire to get legislative maps approved in North Carolina.
New maps have been drawn up for the State House and the Senate. News 13's Anjali Patel breaks down those maps and shows us what that could mean for voters in the mountains if they're approved.
This is what Buncombe County Senate District 49 would look like under the latest proposed map. Now, this is what the district looked like under the map that was thrown out by the state Supreme Court earlier this year. And this is what District 49 looked like in the 2020 election. A local political expert says the biggest takeaway from these new maps is that the districts are pretty similar to what they looked like 2 years ago. The race is on to get new legislative maps submitted by Friday. The State House approving a new version on Wednesday with just 5 nays.
They did have, kind of a bipartisan solution. I think that's a really good thing.
The farther west you live, Western Carolina professor Chris Cooper says the less likely you are to see changes in your House district if the new map moves forward. However, in Buncombe County, there could be some shifts. One is that Democrat Lindsey Prather, who's running for Brian Turner's seat, could be running in a different House district.
Have to change my logos from 116 to 115. I'm a little bit sad to see that Lester has been taken out of my district. That is where I taught at Irwin High School for years.
As for the newly proposed state Senate map, again, no significant changes for far western NC, but there could be some for Buncombe County voters near the District 49 line.
There are some changes. Folks that are near that line are going to want to look really, really carefully to figure out which district they live in. But it is fairly close to the one that we used in 2020.
Prather says it's a good thing these maps look more like what we used back in 2020.
Going back to closer to what previous maps have been, I think helps the voters in terms of understanding and more accessibility to the process and knowing exactly who's going to be on their ballot.
Cooper adds while any map would likely give Republicans a majority in the state House and Senate, these maps make it less likely for them to get a supermajority. The chair of the Buncombe GOP said, quote, "The maps are proposed. We're all waiting to see if they're going to be proposed and accepted. And at that point, we'll all determine how this affects all of our voters," end quote. Now, a panel has selected 3 special masters to help weigh in on the new maps. One of them is former Supreme Court Justice Bob Orr, who is from Western North Carolina. Chris Cooper says that is a big deal as the mountains have a lot at stake here.